Hello everybody, I am back with another installment of my flip book using old supplies, or I think I'm actually calling it using your stash. The first few episodes we used our manila folders from our stash to make the base of this journal and the main parts. Oop, can't see that part yet. Then the next video we did these super pop-out pockets, and the video after that we did the using sorry, get that all in there, using your old book pages. We made some inserts here for our journal. So now I'm going to do something totally different. Well, a couple weeks ago, I guess at this point it will have been probably about 3 weeks ago, I did my 500 subscriber giveaway video. And in there I asked you to tell me what else you would like to see. So Just Imagine Journals said she would like to see videos on more interactive elements. So this video is for you. I came up with this. This is the most fun I think I've had in a while. Watch this. I'm going to make sure I got it all in the zone here. Yep, okay. It's all in zone. I'm pushing my thing here, and your pages are all going, oops, stuck there a little bit. Look at that. Isn't that fun? So again, I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to show you how I made this. It all folds down flat. So much fun. I added that one, and then of course you got a quick peek. I did a second one here in the book. Trying to get it all in frame. There we go. Catches just a little bit there, but I think not too bad. So we are going to create this today. And I'm going to put it right here on this page. So a few things. Again, we are using our stash, so don't think I didn't do that. What I have is these Project Life cards. I have got a ton of them kicking around. I thought I would kind of be into that at some point. Not really. So now they've just been sitting in my stash. So I am using my Project Life cards. Now you could use scrap pieces of cardstock. You could journaling tags, whatever you got. But this, for me, I have a ton of these. So each of my flips in the book, let me just double check here. I have four flips in flip ups in the book. So I took 4 of these cards. And I also am using more of my book pages because, you know, I've got a ton of them. So this project was really easy. Basically what I did is I put one of my cards down on my paper and I just kind of scored it around, because basically I'm going to wrap this card and fold it all over. And you can see I've got too much. So basically what I did, where's my pencil, is just drawing a line. And I'm going to cut back about 1 inch from this line. Cut this part off, so about 1 inch in this way. Just going to go do that. All right. So now you can see it kind of mats. I'm a little crooked. There we go. Better. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the top and do the same kind of thing on the top, and I'm going to fold it on the bottom here. Okay. So now I'm going to leave those in. I'm going to go back, fold it, top over bottom, so that my whole card is wrapped. So I'm going to just take a piece of tape and on this edge here, and I'm going to secure it down. No, I'm only securing it because I'm going to stitch around. If you were not going to stitch around and you were going to just do it, I would glue this all in place really well. And yes, for those of you who are like me who didn't do the fold properly, all I do is trim off that excess paper on either side. So now I'm going to corner chomp it. Just because I like the corners, you don't have to, but I'm using my 1/2 inch corner chomper. Like so. Then what I did is I ran it through my, with an embossing folder, I ran it through my Big Shot. See if I can get in there and see. You can probably see that one better. So you can see I ran it through, and then I've distressed this. Inked it all up, distressed it. Okay, so I still haven't sewn it yet, but it's staying intact. Then what I did is I had a couple of scraps left on my desk. So all I did was cut a little triangle pocket here. You could, you know, do a half pocket. You could do a side pocket, however you want. I just happen to have these little nifty triangles left. So basically, I'm going to put it in place here, and I'm going to go and stitch all the way around. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back to show you what I have done. Okay, so now I'm back. You can see I've stitched all the way around, and I'm just going to chomp this corner so that it matches the backside. So there we go. So now I have done that 4 times. All right, so, and I mean, you don't have to put pockets on, you could just leave it blank. The first one I did, I just put little ephemera on it, but the second one, I put pockets so I could tuck some ephemera in there. So now that you've done that 4 times, you're going to need your back piece. So this is my back piece that's going to be stuck to the front of that journal. Got that, so I've cut it all out, I've inked it, and rounded my corners. So make sure it fits whatever page you want. This is going to hide my mechanisms. So this is very important. So next what I did is I have got 2 long strips of paper. These ones in particular, I mean, you could do this, I guess, whatever size you wanted. I just found that this was a good pull size and it held my stuff well. So these are 2 inches by 11 inches. And I've got, oops, knocking stuff over. I've got 2 of those. So what I did at the top here, and oh, it's important, I made sure I've got them double-sided so that you can see they're on double side, because when you put it in the book, you're going to see this a little bit. So this one is going to be my bottom part. I'm going to show you. That part there is what we're working on. So I've got I rounded it here. And if you are fortunate enough to have a whale of a punch, like I do, you could put a little tab on there. I'm just going to find a piece of paper. Okay. Yeah, I would just do my whale of a punch. I always do it upside down. You probably notice when I do all my punches, I do them upside down so I can actually see where I've lined it up. I don't know if anybody else does this, but that's what I do. Because I have been known to punch in the wrong spot sometimes. So I just do it that way now. So we're just going to, I'm going to do my tape here. Attach my whale of a punch. And you don't have to, you could just leave the pull just the way it is. Perfectly fine. But I've got it, and we are trying to use up things from our stash and things that we've got. So hence the reason I'm using that. And look at it, used up a little bit of paper. Okay, so there's my part that I'm going to pull. So then what I did is I positioned this on to my page here. Obviously, you don't want this to be sticking out past your book part here, because that's going to get caught in your journal. You know, it's going to get wrecked. So I just basically went up a bit. And then what I did is I kind of positioned where I would want my flaps to go. And what I've done is I've positioned them so they are a 1/2 inch away. So that my top one now, you can see, is lined up with the page at the top. And so this is where I'm going to start here. And all I did was do a pencil line. And then I scored. So this is the pencil line I just did. I scored 1/2 inch below, right there. And then I scored my pencil line. Then I scored another 1/2 inch up, another 1/2 inch up, and another 1/2 inch. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 score lines. Okay. And they're spaced out 1/2 inch. So that's why I'm just positioning here. I mean, this is not highly mathematical. I'm sure you could do it that way, but I'm just doing it by where I wanted them all positioned. So you can see if you wanted only 3, or if you want more, you would have to space them out a little differently on here. That's totally workable, but this is what I wanted. So I scored them, then I creased them all. Use my bone folder, got them all going. And then I creased them all the other way, because they're going to be flipping. You've got to have them flexible both ways. So then all you're going to do is 1, 2, 3. So you are going to line it up. So here is your first gap. And this is why we did 5 lines, because we are going to tape in between those 1/2 inch gaps. So you're actually going to be running 4 strips of tape, but that's why we did that. So you got 4 strips of tape there. Burnish them in good. Okay. And peel them off. Make sure you don't have anything sticking over. And this is where I'm going to add just a little bit of glue to help on this, because they're moving around a lot. I don't want them shifting. Okay, and you're just going to start at the bottom. I centered it in and put it right in the middle of that and on that sticky part. So just the top edge, because all this other part has got to be loose here. So just remember, we're sticking just the top edge down. And I'm just layering it up as I go. Stick it in good. Next one. And this way too, when you do it like this, you can actually make sure they're all lined up here. And then the last one. So don't go over that crease mark. The crease mark is exactly where you want the top of your card to go. Okay, so that when these are dry, you can see that's how it's going to go in the motion, and that's why we've got them. And that's also why we've got that 5th one, so that you could fold that back. So while those are drying, put it back on my paper. So those are lined up right here. So here's the other thing. We're going to take this piece and we're going to fold it right over to the back side. Now this is going to be the other mechanism that we've got that we need, and I'm doing it a bit longer because I just found it was easier to help me. So what I'm going to do is take your other strip and you're going to lay it, we're going to glue it right to here. Glue, tape, I'm doing both, you know, my usual. It seems complicated, but if you work at doing it while I'm doing it, you'll understand completely. It's kind of one of those things you have to do it in order to get it understood. If you're just watching it, you might not quite catch it all, but oh, don't forget my glue. But if you do it along with me, you'll totally understand where this is going. Makes more sense. Okay, so I'm going to take my other thing and I'm going to line it up right at the top there. So this is just basically giving me an extension on this. Because this part, so now you can see if you hold this part down, try and get it, hold this part down here with your hand and you push your little thing up, you can see now how your mechanism is going to work. Okay, so then the next step is basically go to the back side of where you want this to go and line it up the way it's supposed to go. Okay, and what I did is I took a pencil mark and draw on the back side here a line right where your bottom card meets. And you're going to draw it right out. Basically, I just traced around the bottom card. Okay, so this line here, what we're going to do, get my crafty mat and my blade and my ruler. And what we're going to do is we are going to cut this whole straight edge here. So basically, because I traced around, I've got rounded corners. If you had square ones, this would be a lot easier. I'm just going to draw it so that my two lines meet. I'm going to draw this side straight down. And I'm going to join where I traced that bottom, right across. Okay. So now you're going to take your knife or your scissors, whichever you're comfortable with, and you're just going to cut this straight line right across. And then what you're going to do is once you've done that, you're going to extend it out about 1/4 of an inch or a couple of millimeters out past where that line goes. And that's just because we got to slip this part in there, and you want to be able to get it in. You don't want to be too tight because it's going to have a hard time moving. So now you've got this little piece here. So what you're going to do is you're going to slip this back part right through that slot. And you're going to slide it right in till your tab is exactly where it needs to be, which is right near the bottom of that page. Okay, so now if you hold on to this base, you hold on to that tail, and you pull your thing up, you can see what's going to work. And you can see here, you're going to see that mechanism. But that's okay. So now what you're going to do, with that in place, push it back up here. Okay, so it's going to be in place. So we want this part here to be joined. So all I did, where is my scrap? Get my piece of paper here. Is I took this piece here is 5 inches by 1 3/4. You could do 1, whatever. I just have a scrap. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to slide it under the 2 of these, your 2 bands here, and you're going to fold it over and fold the other side over so that it matches. So now that's got this mechanism doubled over, and you can see here it's joining it all together. So actually let's take this part right out. So now what I'm going to do is, because I've got it folded, I'm just going to flip it over so that the smooth side is on the front, and we're just going to tape it here. Tape it on the back side, and let's just make sure we got it in the right position. Yeah. So when your flaps are all the way in the up position, just make sure that this wraps. You don't want it down past here because you don't want this tabby to go up in there. So this is as far as that mechanism needs to go. So I'm going to flip it over and I am going to secure this with a bit of tape. And we're also going to secure it to the back part here as well, because this is going to stabilize the collar. So basically I'm just gluing this whole tab part here. And of course, gluing it as well. Again, when you start doing this, you'll totally get why I'm doing it. It's sticking to everything. Okay, little dab of glue. Oop, that was terribly loud of me. Okay, and let's just make sure before I do it, because mine shifted. Yeah, make sure it's in the right spot. And you're just going to glue this. It's a little collar to keep the flaps together. So once you flipped over, you can see now that's in the full position. When you drag it down, what did I do? Did I drag it? I did mine. Oh, I did my collar. Let's see, I did my collar too high. I needed to come down. Ooh. Yeah, okay. See, this is why you should check everything before you do it. It's okay. So, gotta make sure it's in the down position as well. So there. So it works both down and up. Okay. So put it in the down position again and make sure that you've got enough mechanism to go down to. That wasn't very smart of me. But then this is why I don't edit these things out, because if you make this mistake, you can see how you could fix it. So there, I've got enough up position, catches there, and I've got enough down position. Excellent. So now I'm just going to make sure I glue, hence reason the glue in there as well. Okay, so now we're going to take this and this long sticky outy part. It's going to go back in here through that slot. So you can see now when it will stop right there, that slot, and you should be lined up perfectly up here. Your tab thing is not going to be down way down here, and you've got this piece sticking out. And all I did was glue this whole piece in here, because you don't need this part to move. So you can, and actually I'm just going to wet glue this part. Just wet glue it. Wet glue, and you're just going to trim it flush with your other piece. That wasn't very flush at all. We'll try that again. And this piece will also be extra secure once you glue this, because you're going to take this whole piece and glue it to your page. So now you have got your folding flippy mechanism. Catches a little there, but once you work it in, it's good. So there you go. So now feel free to add this however you want. I'm just going to tape and glue my usual. And what I do on this is I taped right above that slot and right below that slot as well, so that that flap is all good. So I'm going to peel off my tape on the back here. Make sure I've got enough tape on here. Get all this off. I having trouble with that two-sided tape today. Okay, figure out which page you're going to put it on. I am going to put it on this page right here. And before I do, though, I am still going to put my glue on here as well, so that I've got a good hold. Make sure you don't put it in upside down. I do that kind of, see, I almost did. All right, I'm going to center it in here on my page. Perfect. Burnish it in good. Make sure it's on there good. Flip it all the way up so I can burnish in here. Okay, so and now you can see when you pull it all down, you've got your flaps. And I'm going to put, you know, put little tags in here. That's what I did on this one. You can see on this one I put some ephemera tags in there, and then when you open the next one, get it in here, I put a little floating tag, some more ephemera. The next one, I've got a couple of little journaling tags and a piece of ephemera there, fussy cut. And the last one, same thing. I've got a little postcard in that. So you can do that however you want. You can put the pockets in, and you don't have to put the pockets in. This one here, when I did it, I didn't put the pockets in. So these ones were just embellished with some lace, trim, and things like that. But now you have got your own little flip thing. Hopefully, Just Imagine Journals, this was the interaction you were hoping for. Thanks again. Tune in soon. I will be doing another installation in this flip book using your supplies, or you busting our stash here. Thanks for coming out. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and check out all my other videos. Have a great day.